walking. I had to wear the braces and So I was working, and then I started getting feedback from work. Well, you're a liability. What if you fall? What if this and that? So I was using a cane, and I was using my brace. And, I still kept working. And then I started feeling tingling and numbness in my arm. And then my shoulder started hurting, and then it just got worse and worse. And I went to therapy, and instead of helping, the therapy was just hurting me more and more. So when I finished the sessions, the therapist said, I don't know what's happening. Something else is going on, because you're supposed to be feeling better, not worse. So, that was the end of that. And the doctor that I was seeing said maybe try a chiropractor. Maybe a chiropractor will help. And so I went to chiropractic services. And the chiropractor was doing all the thing, cracking my neck, and then I got sent to a neurosurgeon. And the neurosurgeon right away did a cervical MRI and saw there was a compression in my neck. And it was really bad, and that was, the pain was just so bad. I spent 3 weeks unable to sleep, unable to do anything. I would just sit up all night crying with the pain, and nothing would help. They gave me morphine, they gave me everything for pain, and nothing would take away the pain. And I was like that for 3 weeks until I saw the neurosurgeon. And he said, you need surgery, you need surgery. And this was like in October, and I had to quit my job. I couldn't work anymore. It was, the pain was so bad. And, they were already telling me things at work, you're not working the way, you're not meeting your, what you're supposed to be doing. And so I just left. One day I told them I'm leaving, because they wanted to demote me to greeting people and serving coffee at the office where I worked, and I can't do that. I couldn't walk with my foot dropped, and then they wanted me serving hot coffee. Crazy. So I said, I'm leaving. And just one day I turned in my resignation letter and I left. And that was in October, and I didn't have the cervical surgery until January of 2024. So all that time I was in so much pain, and the medication wouldn't help. So when I did the surgery, the cervical fusion, just the next day my pain was gone. My arm, my shoulder, everything, the pain was gone. And then, little by little I started getting feeling back in my foot. I could wiggle my toes, and so my foot drop just, it went away. But then after the cervical surgery, I just started having a lot of weakness in my hands, weakness in my legs. I started having tremors in my hands and my legs. My feet were, I just had tremors. And then all that started, and the neurosurgeon was all, well, no, that can't be because of the surgery. It's not that. And then I got referred to several different doctors and doing tests and all that. My doctor did an MRI of my spine, and he said, well, you have compressions but it's not too bad. He said, it's not too bad. So then, all this was going on, and then they said to get an MRI of my brain, and that's where they saw the lesions. And the Dr. Narro, the neurosurgeon, said, well, you have lesions in the brain, but it looks like maybe you might have had a stroke before, and just said it was nothing. But I still had all this going on. And then I had knee replacement on my left knee in October of last year. And then I had knee replacement in February of my right knee. And the recovery was so difficult. I couldn't, I was doing the therapies and everything. And the left knee, did get okay. It was okay, but my right knee wasn't getting any better. And I still have trouble walking. I have the tremor in my left foot now. It's my left foot that just starts shaking and trembling. And So then when I got sent to Dr. Cruz, when we found Dr. Cruz, I said, I want to schedule an appointment with him. I want to see him. And because my doctor said, well, it might be ALS, it might be MS, you might have lupus, you might have something, so I want you to go see this doctor. And I had nerve studies in my upper extremities, my lower extremities, and the doctors said, it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong, but there's something wrong, and that your case is very atypical because I had some things going on, but, they said it wasn't anything serious. So then those doctors that did those nerve studies said, well, there's a doctor here, Dr. Cruz, that he sees for neuromuscular disorders. You might want to try, get an appointment with him. So I told my doctor, my primary physician, and he's the one that I used to work for. So he's really good with me, everything that I ask, he does, So I told him, I want to go see this doctor. They're telling me that he, might be able to know what's going on. So he right away sent me to see him, and I got in right away to see Dr. Cruz. And, he saw me the first time, and he did all the, examinations, and he said, I want you to walk, I want you to do this, and, and right away he told me, I'm pretty sure that it's, MS. And he still sent me to get the lumbar puncture. I did that, and I just got the results last week. And he told me, there's the bands in there, and those O bands, and the lesions in the brain. He said, so I'm pretty sure that it's primary progressive. So that's where I'm at now. And he said, we're gonna start the treatment. We're gonna get everything sent to the insurance and get started. And so I got a call today from Premier. They already scheduled me to get established, and so I can go and get the infusion when it's ready. So
you're on your way.
I'm starting.
Yeah,
I'm starting. And I still have difficulties walking. My balance is, all of a sudden I lose my balance. And at home I try not to use a cane because I hold on to the table, I hold on to the refrigerator, to everything. But it's been really hard doing housework. I tried vacuuming the other day and I couldn't do it.
Invest in the Roomba. That's what we did.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I have a vacuum.
For Christmas, he's like, here. Thanks. Yeah.
It was really hard when I
Yes.
couldn't vacuum.
Yeah.
And I just sat on the couch and cried.
Yeah.
Because, my whole body was hurting. And I just did a little part. And I couldn't do it. So, that's really hard.
It's
Not being able to do
from being